Mother, man.
This is fucking Lenny Murphy Cutthroats with Murder Mayhem, yo.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem!
All right, here we go.
What the fuck's up?
Hey, it's Tuesday, and we're throwing down a new Murder Metal Mayhem, and we are here at Horns High Studios for the Horns High Podcast Network, episode 198. Chris,
Almost there, bro.
2 to go, and last week, Chris, I threw it in your corner and asked you, should we let the listeners know what the topic will be for the 200th?
Why not? Let them know.
You gonna let them know?
Fucking goddamn DB fucking Cooper.
Hell yeah. So we thought that would be cool, Joey, to do something totally different. Not totally different. It's still true crime, but, a little different. Not the, maybe the serial killer type story people would expect, but a very interesting one. And our friend Tex is going to be on with us for that. So that'll be cool.
Always good to have Tex.
Get Tex involved with that 200th milestone episode. So Chris was nice. It must be, getting into that holiday
privileged.
Spirit. He deemed it worthy for all of you listeners to know what the 200th episode will be. It's going to be wicked, but we got a good one in store tonight, so let's take our time. The feast will be here soon enough. Got Chris and Joey here. Joey, you're in the 419, and you got some cool stuff that we're going to be able to see on our video.
Murder segment.
Yeah, we're going to record the murder segment tonight, and you get this really cool banner. You want to tell us what's up with that?
If you guys fucking end up watching the YouTube of it and see the murder, you'll see it behind me. But in the room that I set up my studio here in Toledo in the 419, fucking I had a window behind me, and fucking you couldn't. I mean, the fucking sun would just be fucking brutal on the computer whenever I'm trying to record. So I had something up over it for a while because the 2x3 fucking picture fit perfect, and then I was like, man, I need to get something for back there, like really.
Right. Yeah.
And I was just going to do the Murder Metal Mayhem, just the logo. I was like, no, I should do something a little cooler than that. So I did the die cut sticker, which is also on the back of the fucking new shirts.
Right.
And then underneath that, I got 419 Records and an Old English variant.
That's awesome.
And then I also got the zombie art by Gaither in the bottom right hand corner with all four of us on there because I wanted CK on there too.
Yeah.
And I got a couple bloody handprints up above it.
Like the bloody handprints.
Yeah, at first I was going to try to get the characters that Dathan did of all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Because I still got the one he did for me, and then I couldn't find the one for CK, but I was going to do all four of those across the top part of it.
Sure.
But I was pressed for time and just wanted to get it done. But
oh, no, I
dope,
understand. A matter of fact, I was going to bring those onto the website because I've got all
hell
those.
Yeah.
That
Definitely.
would be cool to put on our pages on the website. So very cool. All right. Well, we are raring to go here, and we are looking at doing an episode that I think everybody's going to be enjoying as we get back into the bloody brutality of it all.
Fucking right.
What T-shirts we got on here, Chris? What you got?
Well, once again, I got the Murder Metal Mayhem, or goddamn it, Murder Machine clothing.
Right.
Fucking zip up, fucking.
Boy, Jason ought to be paying us some advertising.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding, man.
And then underneath that, I got the badass fucking Baldwin Asylum
hell yeah.
T-shirt. Fucking
Nice.
pretty sick.
Yeah, that looks really good, man.
Oh,
That
yeah.
looks good. What about you, Joey? What you wearing over there?
For my shirt, I got this fucking Scream Ghostface shirt
Nice.
Stephanie got for me. Fucking, I was rocking it for Halloween. But also on my head, I got the crepitation hat because my homie's from the UK since we're going across the pond.
Fucking
Yeah,
right.
very cool, very cool. And your Jim Jones mask from Sick Rick is poised, and your new.
I know now that I'm looking at like I got the same webcam you got, so
Right.
fucking it looks similar. And then I got the fucking banner on the wall, and I got the fucking stick mask. It's like horns high away from Illinois.
Oh, it looks awesome,
Definitely,
man. A
dude.
total homage to Horns High, that's for sure. That's for
Yeah.
And it's
sure.
crazy because the way you got Jones on the camera and the way Ramirez is matches our script, the way it matches the screen together. It looks like they're side by side and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. All right. Well, last week, guys, we did a feature on Day of the Dead, which is kind of our end of our Monsters of October.
Yes.
The interesting Mexican custom to celebrate their departed for a 3-day blowout fucking
Tequila, baby.
craziness for
Hey.
every year. And that was fun. And we talked about the origin of it. And Tex and Mrs. Tex sent us some cool decor. We still got it up here in the studio, some authentic Day of the Dead stuff. So that was really fun. And, I think talking about something that's a little different, and, we talked about a lot of death, that's for sure, with
Definitely.
with all the people that they were, memorializing and so forth with these intricate altars that they would build. It's just really a fascinating thing. And Chris, you did the feature on Oppressor,
Fuck yeah.
which
Pressure
was
kicks
badass.
ass.
Got me actually going on a fucking kick listening to them here
For real.
since
Hell yeah.
since
Oh, yeah.
then, which is cool. And we were passing about 800 listens to that episode today. So if you missed it, go back and listen to that, episode 197. We also released a bonus episode, which was my audio version of the short story I wrote about the Day of the Dead called The Bells of San Pedro. That was in Creation of Chaos 3. And we got quite a few listens to that one as well. So thanks to everybody that did check it out. It's only like 36 minutes, but it's definitely a good creepy story, for the season. And the fact that it involves the Day of the Dead, I thought was cool. And so if you missed that, go check out the bonus. We were just passing 500 to that one today. So thank you, everybody
500.
that's listened. That's really cool. Between that and the episode this week, we got quite a few listens. So, but if you're interested in my writing stuff, I always link to that in the episode description. But that's just PeteAltieri.com, and you can get there that way. Tonight, though, guys, we're getting nasty. I told you we had a good bloody one in
Bloody.
store. This is one that maybe people don't know of. Joey, last week you were like, dude, after a month of the monsters,
Score.
needed some just raw nastiness in our lives. So definitely, we had fun doing the October episodes, but it's definitely time to get back to the meat and potatoes here. And we're going to Belfast, Northern Ireland, in a very turbulent time. There's literally a war going on in the cities. And we're talking about some Shankill Butchers, man. It's
Yeah.
brutal.
Shankill.
Shankill. It's not Shankill. The first time I wrote it, that's how I wrote it, but it's just Shankill. They murdered 23 and terrorized the area while they were out looking to torture and murder Catholics right off the street. So we're going to get into that, some good old, religious warfare
Fucking
topic.
Gotta
tonight.
love the religious warfare. The first time when I read Shankill I thought it said Skank Hill.
Oh, did you?
I was like, what the fuck?
That sounds interesting. Now, Joey, you got the horns tonight, and you're picked out a real nice, family kind of band to do.
Yeah, I'm going to Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm going to do the band Anal Cunt.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking talk about stupid, dumb, and offensive. That's that band. Perfect. I was ready to do them as soon as we got our Facebook page booted off Facebook.
Right.
I was like, okay, y'all want to be some pricks, then I want to do something a little more
Right.
What if you're gonna kick us off here? Let me give you a reason why you should have kicked us off, because
Right.
I never did a band like that then, So
No, it's so stupid that Facebook
Yeah.
took our page down, because it's
Yeah.
like, what the hell did we do that we hadn't been doing for 4.5
Yeah.
years?
Yeah, there's
Like,
no reason, man.
we started out like nasty cannibals and all that shit, so whatever.
But now we got the website.
Yeah, we got our own website going
so.
on. Yeah, I mean, people can go there, and we got a lot of listens despite the whole shit with Facebook. So whatever. So that'll be great. And Chris, you got a Lost Classic
Yes, I
for
do.
us.
I sure does.
So that should be awesome, and we'll do that in the metal segment. And we got a good killer cage match tonight. That's when we get our listeners to provide the random numbers from our Facebook group. So we do still have that out there. And that helps us decide who's going to fight to death in the steel cage. And Joey, who do we have fighting tonight? Or I'm sorry, Chris, who do we want to say thank you to?
Tonight, once we got the one and only Lord Kovacs.
Hell yeah.
We got fucking killer card game himself, fucking Jeff Ignatowski.
Hell yeah.
And then we got, here we go again, Ray the Missile McFalls.
Oh boy, man, this guy with the nicknames, Jesus Christ. But he's always quick to the draw. Ray McFalls is always on there, so that's awesome. Quick. So all three of you guys, thank you very much. And we got a good battle in the cage. Joey, who's going up tonight? This is an interesting matchup here.
This is something else. This will be a little, I don't know.
Right.
But we got fucking Mr. Andre Chikatilo,
right?
Fucking just brutal as fuck, fucking comrade right there.
Yeah,
and he's gonna be going up against fucking Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, what a weird matchup, man.
Osama bin Laden should have been Osama bin Laden.
So that's going to be an interesting one. And they got two objects to fight with and a variable in the cage. So it's going to be good. And that's going to be in our Mayhem segment. Probably one of our most popular things here to do. And we were talking about funny things maybe to add to the podcast and you know, funny town names. You know, there's some really good ones out there. Right. And got some really great stuff from old Tex today, sending me a text message about some crazy Texas towns. So that might be fun to do. Maybe when we get him on for the 200th, we can get Tex to talk about some of those fun towns.
Weird ass towns.
Because there's one that's just too goddamn great. You know, it's just good stuff. So that might be a fun segment to do, like in Mayhem. And I think it's always cool to introduce new ideas because that's how Killer Cage Match became a thing. I didn't really know what to think about it, and it's been a huge hit. You
want to try something? It's like, yeah, let's give it a shot. We started out with what? Originally, like fucking
25 or 30, something like that, maybe. Yeah. So it's grown. Now, I did want to mention, we don't do this very often, but Rebecca Boomsock, our loyal listener, the one that's always a front runner in the Killer Cage Match.
Right.
She had a birthday on Halloween. So that
hell yeah. Oh, nice.
Say happy birthday belatedly to Rebecca. And thanks for being such an awesome supporter. You know, she's the one who shares like all the bands that she follows. She shares the fuck out of stuff.
Yeah.
She shares my writing stuff. She shares us, our podcast information. So just such a cool thing. I mean, taking time out to do that is just an awesome show of support. So we appreciate that. And for the bands too. I mean, we're all about that. Big thanks to everybody listening to the podcast. We were at like 3,400, I think, this week. So that was great. Awesome. And keep on spreading that word.
If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing this.
That's the truth. That's the truth. So Joey mentioned it earlier, but, you know, check out that new website we've got, murdermetalmayhem.com, and sign up for the email list. This way, when I post stuff, you'll know about it before everybody else. So it's a good way to stay up to date on what we're doing. Also, thanks to Tex and Mrs. Tex for hooking us
up, yo.
The fuck up with some Pop-Tarts. I got a package on the porch, and I picked up the box. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is pretty fucking heavy. Joey, we got two big boxes and two small boxes. So
that's what's up.
Yeah. So thanks, Tex and Mrs. Tex, for taking care of us. Not like I need to be eating any Pop-Tarts, you know, but that's the only sweet that I get pretty much the only one I get all week is the Pop-Tart on Murder Metal Man.
Well, I mean, you got to have it, man.
So I mean, it's what's for breakfast or lunch or a snack, whatever.
Oh,
So
yeah, we got
we're
the-
all about Pop-Tarts.
We got the lemon cream pies,
Yeah.
snickerdoodle, Eggo, and apple fritter.
Fucking A.
I haven't had
So-
the apple fritter.
I haven't either.
Or the
That
Snickerdoodle.
sounds good. So, all right, we got a lot on our plate tonight. We're going to be traveling across the pond once again, heading to Belfast. But let's try and avoid a roving group of maniacs with some meat cleavers on the Shankill.
Fuck yeah, let's go fucking get a murder on in Ireland, baby.
Hell yeah, that is a new band I've been jamming the shit out of called Miscreants from Italy. My brethren across the pond there.
Right.
The song Fall Apart. Those guys are sick as hell. Definitely remind me a lot of Death in their more progressive phase, like the individual thought pattern, symbolic era. Definitely really a great band. So go give them a listen. They got a new album just came out called Convergence that is just ridiculously good. I mean, every
I have
track
to check that shit out.
really, really good. Miscreants. So, all right.
Italy.
Now
How
we
long
are
have they been
going
around?
not that long. I think this is their second album, or
Yeah.
they have like an EP. Then this is the full length. So I don't think for that long, but I'm not sure. Now we're going to be talking about a good one tonight, as we've been saying, the roving band of murderous gangsters known as the Shankill Butchers.
See, it says Skankill in my notes.
Skankill, yeah, I see that now. Subliminal, yeah. That's hilarious. They were part of an extreme political movement in Northern Ireland from 1975 to 1982. And they opposed, the other part of Ireland. And we're going to get into all that. It's a little confusing, at least it was to me. I really had to read this article that I found on the History Channel's website that was very good at explaining what all
Right.
the drama was about. So I'll talk about that later. But we're going to get into that. And these guys hated Catholics. I mean, holy shit.
Because of all the fucking child fucking.
I mean, I don't know, but it was just the Protestants and the Catholics, and the Catholics were in the minority in Northern Ireland, so they were like getting singled out. And these guys are kidnapping people right off the fucking street, torturing them, murdering them in some of the most nasty fucking ways. I mean, knives,
Some
hatchets.
just drive up and just pop you there in the street and take off.
Yeah, I mean, these guys were just really vicious. And the more extreme, I think, of course, to convey their message, the better. So we're going to talk about it. It's, believe that they've killed at least 23. And we're about to get into a very nasty, bloody one for you tonight. So it's going to be good. Now, I'd like to mention, anytime you get into something like this, we're not taking sides in this argument. We don't have a dog in that fight. Okay?
No, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't want to get, we've got a lot of UK listeners, and I don't want to get anybody all fired up. We are not taking sides. That's your guys' deal, and that is what it is. But I will do the very best I can, as unbiased as I can, to explain how I get this whole drama with Ireland,
Right.
and the fighting that was going on at that time. Very, very tumultuous time. Now, Chris, these guys are like a smarter version of the Chihan cannibal clan. So,
I don't know how they got away with it for so long, honestly. Fucking killing that many people so indiscriminately. Like, I don't know. But yeah, they're pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah, brutal, but definitely a little smarter than those. Because remember the Cheon gang, they were kind of dumb. They did some stupid shit. Did. So,
just hanging out all day in that house and shit.
Yeah, I mean the little pink house. So we did that one not that long ago, Cheon Cannibal Clan. If you missed it, that's a good episode. But these guys are like a little smarter version of that. Okay?
Minus the cannibalism.
Right, that's true. Now, Joey, I know you've been fiending for brutality, and I hope that the work of the Shankill Butchers does it for you tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited to do this one. It's a pretty good topic. It's been on our list for a bit.
It has.
The page a day. I did a page a day where they talked about it one time too, but just a little snippet.
I do remember that.
But we already had it on the list that we were going to do it, so I'm really glad.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, I'm Irish, so that's fucking cool for me to do one from my neck of the wood.
Yeah, no, it's cool, and our viewers on our YouTube channel getting to see both our cool digs here. Me and Chris at Horns High. And Joey there in the 419, but you got it all decked out, looking good. Your new Murder Metal Mayhem banner and the Jim Jones mask, and definitely got a Horns High feel. But as Chris pointed out, got the 419 records there at the bottom of the banner, which is great. So very, very cool. All right.
When's that first album dropping, Punky?
I know, right?
Now
it's funny that I put that on there because fucking, I mean, I'm always going to be FTA Records,
Right.
But for the banner, it was like 419. I had to do something 419.
Of course, definitely, dude.
Yeah, I wonder if the person making it was like, "Oh, Jesus."
There was a moment too where next to the where the hands are or whatever, the bloody handprints. I was going to use Punky Brooks's picture because I thought that was hilarious. But I was like, I don't know. I'm
probably not a good idea.
Yeah, it's a little close to home right now.
You don't need somebody following you home, and
I don't want Garth Brooks whooping my ass.
Yeah, right, Garth Brooks. That's great. So I stumbled on this one on YouTube. You know how that is. We've talked about it before. I was just like, what the fuck? Just because of some of the characters they've got on this. We're going to get into it, but the documentary that we watched, just so fucking brutal, but at times almost funny. The accents were really cool.
Oh, yeah, and the docs.
Really strong accents on those documentaries. But I knew it would be a good one for us to do. It's been about 6 months or so when I first heard about it, maybe longer. And, they finally got their way onto the schedule. But definitely a good one to do to kind of palate cleanse, to get back into our zone, because we got some really nasty ones coming up here. And part of that was last month was crazy with the remotes. We did 2 remotes, so we had to kind of dial back a little bit on the subject matter, only because we were at one in particular in a public place with like people walking by, and the people at the haunted house, they know what we do, but they were like, can you just kind of watch
kind of
that?
like, look.
Yeah, no, I didn't see any little kids coming close, but yeah, just trying not to be too brutal. But tonight, it's
and
nice.
That's like with my metal segment, we kind of did the same thing.
Right.
I was going to do Anal Cunt on my last metal segment, but out of respect for we were doing it at the Painted Rave.
I know. I was like, Joey, would there be any way you could do something? No, I got thinking about that. I'm like, Stephanie's going to be there. Like, I don't need some kind of weird incident going on.
So after that, now coming back with the Shankill after our October Anal Cunt metal,
and then to find out that her favorite word, never heard of this, a female's favorite word, the word cunt. So she would have been totally fine with us doing anal cunt, but I was like, I didn't want to take a chance. So yeah, we're doing that.
The first Goremonger shirts that I ever printed, real big on the back in block letters, it says "fucking hate cunts" in white. But the cunts is in pink, but it's like white pink.
Sweet.
But when I put that shirt out, like honestly, probably half the people that fucking gave me props on that were females. They were like, "Oh, that's fucking awesome! I love that." I was like, "You hate cunts too, I guess." So yeah.
Is that the fucking hate cunt shirt I got? Did you do 2 different ones?
Well, no. You got the album cover one.
Yeah.
Then
Okay.
The first shirt I did was my logo with Jason above it.
Gotcha.
Then the back said "fucking hate cunts." But yeah.
Cool. Well, the definitive word on the Shankill Butcher story is apparently in the book written by Martin Dillon. I'm kind of bummed I didn't get this because I found one real easy on eBay, but it's called The Shankill Butchers, A Case in Mass Murder. It's supposed to be very good. The author had some really unlimited access to all the police files, everything they had on the Butchers. So he got a lot of stuff that other people didn't have access to, talk to people others didn't have access to. And just to note, what you read about or watch, the Shankill that we're talking about, or Shankill, is a neighborhood in Belfast. So sometimes they refer to it as the Shankill. They're meaning the neighborhood. So in case you're wondering why we use the way we phrase some of this, it's because that's how, they were talking about it on the documentaries and stuff. But there is a Shankill Road, which is the main road that goes through the neighborhood, but the neighborhood's got that same name as well.
I like that fucking name, though. If you pronounce
It
it
is,
the
it's
other way,
cool.
Shankill.
Shankill,
like
I know that.
It's like a prison thing. How'd he die? Oh, he's a Shankill.
Yeah, he was up on Shankill, yeah. Now, Chris, with any gang, there's got to be a leader.
Yeah.
And for the Shankill Butchers, that guy was old.
Lenny Murphy.
Yeah,
He
the guy
introduced
that did that
podcast today.
promo for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty nice of him.
Yeah, he fucking from Belfast, and he's political fucking shit and liked violence, and he took care of things the way he wanted to, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, he was like insanely politically active, very, very, militant about it. Very rough time period in Ireland. I mean, kind of like our 70s, race riots and race wars
Right.
and all that kind of shit going down. And these guys were, having their own issues over there. So it was an extremely violent time that this whole stuff was going on. So that could have certainly been a distraction for police and everything else. Now, Joey, I mean, speaking of that, I mean, you got the Catholic nationalists and the Protestant loyalists. And this shit goes back to like the late 60s when all that started.
Yeah, this is a fucking deep-rooted beef going on, and definitely fucking way more Protestants in the situation than there were the Catholics. So the Catholics
Right.
are
For
sure.
the minority.
Yeah, Northern Ireland, yeah.
And now, while we're talking about this, while obviously there's a religious aspect to it, that's not even really what this was. What this came down to for these people, because their view or their side, Protestant or Catholic, was how they fucking saw their lives and their livelihood.
For
like
sure.
that's how they viewed themselves. So it was more a pride thing, and so it was like us against you, not so much my religion against your religion.
Right. It was just that
was like
usually
everything we stand for.
the Catholics sided with the rest of Ireland.
Yeah.
And the Protestants in the northern part didn't agree. So the fact that they, like you correctly point out, it wasn't really a beef with the religious side. It was just the religious side was tied to their political side.
right.
And the political side is what was the incendiary device here that just lit this place up. I mean, into the 90s, I was surprised that it was going on
and
that long.
honestly, the issues between the North and South Ireland are something that's still occurring today.
Oh, sure.
It was like really, really bad through the early 2000s or mid 2000s or whatever. You know what I'm saying? 2010 and shit. But
The 2010s.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it's like now, but no, that's a serious situation going on over there that hasn't really ever let up.
No, you're right. You are right. But these guys going out doing what they were doing sure as fuck isn't helping anything that was going on there. So 1921, they got their independence from the British, and Ireland was broken down into two countries. So you have the main part of Ireland that is now known as the Irish Free State, which is mostly Catholic, and some in the smaller northern part, which is, again, its own country, is made up of mostly Protestant. So that's where we're talking about with the whole Catholic and Protestant thing. So the tension
know how to
between
segregate
them,
a country, don't they?
yeah, I mean, it is weird that they break in those groups like that. But that small minority of Catholics, as Joey points out, is under fucking fire with this shit because they're in like wrong place, wrong fucking time.
Right.
And these dudes are fucking nuts, and they want to show like these extreme acts of violence to, put their point across.
It's like, we don't accept you around here. Don't fucking be here, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fascinating story, and I mean, even in our own country, of course, we all know that we went through a civil war, so I think it's kind of an unfortunate thing, of course, but it's a natural thing or progression when you've got people that opposed,
Right.
in this case here. But I read that during this whole time, they approximate 3,600 people have died and 30,000 were wounded. So, I mean, 30 years of it, 60s into the 90s. But as Joey correctly points out, it's still never totally gone away. To some degree, there's still
You
some
can't
of that
stop gang
animosity.
violence.
No, you really can't. Now, Chris, I never really understood the whole thing with the fighting in Ireland, but as I mentioned, that article from 2021 on the History Channel website was very helpful. But I think, it sets the groundwork for what we're going to be
Right. It's
talking
like
about.
it gives you an idea, it gives everybody an idea of like why they started doing it. It wasn't just like, hey, let's just go kill these people because we can. They had a reason they were doing it, and that kind of tells why.
No, I think that's a good point, and I will try to remember to link in
Not
the
that there's a
episode
good
description. No, there's never a good reason to do that, but I'll try to remember to link in the episode description a link to that article in case anybody that's listening wants to check that out. Now, Joey, I know they're far from metal, but talking about the band U2 and that song "Sunday Bloody Sunday" is kind of about this whole situation.
Yeah, it's definitely about the situation, and I mean it's an iconic song,
right?
Yeah, I don't know. Some people might not look into the deeper meaning of songs and just
Right.
view it as a hit song. I guess. But
right.
No, if you look into the lyrics and what that song's about, it's definitely referring to what was happening. At that time.
I thought it was interesting. I Googled it to see what it exactly was about. And it talks about this 1972 altercation in Northern Ireland that involved some protesters and British soldiers. And the Catholics were the ones that were murdered. 26 died in that incident. So pretty crazy.
Fucking U2 is like big Irish activists. Like, I don't remember which side, but
right.
They fucking... I remember them being huge, like, supporters of one part of Ireland, talking about it politically all the time.
Okay, interesting.
I remember back in I think it was 2008, pretty sure. Anyway, whenever I lived down in Texas, we ran into this guy, and I'm pretty sure that we ran into him through a fucking show or something. It was weird. He was like over in the U.S., kind of like on tour, but basically just picking up shows where he could and just traveling. It was pretty cool. But anyway, we saw him at a show. His name was Rick. He was from Northern Ireland, and he had a band called Flesh Impaled. It was a one-man.
Oh, wow.
We ended up hanging out with him, and he fucking stayed with me and Texas Dave for a couple days down outside Dallas. And I put him on a show that I had going on. Like, it was a big show, too. Like, probably the biggest I ever did with Anal Blast and Insidious Discrepancy. It was really dope. But he played that. But anyway, he would tell us, about how messed up stuff was over where he was at. And, how he had trouble even traveling or even putting out music and things like that because of just how serious the situation was over there and the climate.
That's fucking crazy, man.
Wow. And when he went back over to Ireland, like I stayed up with him for a little while through email and stuff, and then after a while I lost track of him, and I've never ever heard from that dude again. Never saw nothing like musically, and I always wondered what happened to that dude. But he definitely like gave me a little more insight to how fucked up it was over there, because I didn't even realize it back then.
Yeah, I was, honestly reading and prepping for this. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I found out that I was like, man, I never realized it was to this degree. It was really, really bad. So, I mean, what a terrible time to be there, I'm sure.
Our boy fucking Wasted Jesus in Chicago is like fucking infatuated with the IRA shit and all that shit
tattoo, bro.
Yeah, man. Like he went real. I thought at first he only got into it because I think he was like messing around with a girl that was Irish or something like that. But like he took it to a whole new level, and that dude hasn't stopped like studying and researching and like checking out all the fucking I don't know.
Wow. His tattoo artist is great.
Yeah. He tried to get the fucking Irish flag on his wrist, and the dude who did it fucked him up. It was bad,
dude, it was so gross.
So we give him lots of shit now.
That's funny. Well, definitely tell him don't go up to the Shankill if he's going to be supporting that shit, because that could get kind of dangerous. Now,
I tell him we're talking about this. He might listen to it. Fucking. Oh yeah, just because of that. So
for
if
sure.
you do listen to it, Mike, we're talking about you.
Now, the leader of the Shankill Butchers, we mentioned Lenny Murphy. He's from the Shankill, a tough working class neighborhood. Again, as we said, in Belfast, which is in Northern Ireland. At 16, he joins the UVF, which is the Ulster Volunteer Force, which is what we've been kind of talking about, the sympathetic to the cause of Northern Ireland, who wanted to stay with aligned with England, but it was the rest of Ireland that wanted to be separate. So this is, his cause, very active. He would, though I thought this was very smart, he would attend the trials of people being tried for crimes, like gang violence and things like that, to learn what the laws were,
right?
So that he would know what things to stay away from. That's pretty fucking smart.
That is pretty goddamn smart.
So that's why I said that these guys are a smart version of the Chihan plan.
And it's sitting in trial. If you go on watching all those, if you go on trial for something, you've like got a list of what to avoid, fucking as to what to say or whatever.
What the lawyers are saying. So you're like, okay.
I've been studying. I figured I was going to be here one day. I've been studying for this day my whole life.
Exactly. So old Lenny Murphy putting the work in. He would attend these trials, though, with anything that applied to like military groups, things like that. So very, very smart, very scary smart, that's for sure. And like we've said so many times, I remember the Texas 7 was one that jumps out at me. That guy that led that. If that guy would have used his fucking brains for something fucking
other than
good,
crime,
god damn, what they could have done. And I think Lenny Murphy probably is similar to that, with really a smart dude. I don't know what the fuck made him what he is, but definitely a awful situation. If he would have just used it for good, though, it's just too bad. So September of 1972, Lenny Murphy kills a guy over the fact he was selling weapons to some people that Lenny didn't like.
I mean, that's good enough reason for anything.
I guess, Lenny has an accomplice, old Mervyn Carter, get arrested for the murder. Lenny and his accomplice, Mervyn Carter, get arrested for the murder. But while in prison awaiting their trial, Mervyn is suspected of being a snitch.
Jailhouse snitch. I'll give you fucking information if you help me out.
Exactly. And Lenny gets a little nervous about this, so he decides he's going to rough him up and then take it a step further and gets him to swallow a bunch of cyanide. And before he dies, he writes this confession out that says only he was involved. Lenny had nothing to do with it.
Very suspect, man.
Exactly. Exactly. Like suspect. The note from Epstein's mother, in Welcome Back, Kotter. I know that's dating me, but whatever. Chris, now Murphy ends up going to trial, and he's acquitted because of some police fuck up. and that confession from old Mervyn, which I like you. I think that's about as much bullshit as I've ever seen.
Dude, for real, like this guy just happens to fucking, after he's going to tell you something, he decides to kill himself and leave a confession note saying, no, it was just me. I wasn't going to give you no, I don't think so.
Yeah, but it's definitely bullshit, but I just thought that was funny. Now, they even had a witness that said they saw Lenny pull the trigger.
Yeah.
But he still gets off on the charges, which is kind of crazy.
I don't understand how.
But he ends up doing some other shit and ends up doing 3 years. So he gets put away. Again, another similarity to our Chihan gang with the leader getting put in prison.
And running it from jail.
And running it from his jail cell. So now Joey Old Lenny gets out of prison, though, in 1975. And goes the family way for a while, huh?
Yeah, he gets himself a wife, they have a kid, and I mean, he's hanging out, all the bars, all the spots that, drinking his pints or whatever he's doing.
Right.
But really what he's doing is trying to get his fucking boys together that he's going to have go on a rampage with him and fucking take care of business, because he's still not over that shit.
No.
Yeah, he's like, we're getting a gang together and we're
That's
going to
right.
fucking take care of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, so he's like hanging out in the pubs, amassing his army together of these crazy bastards that think what he thinks.
Nothing like a bunch of drunk Irishmen.
Yeah, with meat cleavers. Yeah, so very, very fucked up. So he's getting this gang back together again and, gets a few core people with him, the ones he can really trust. One of those would be his brother, who is, I thought this is funny, known as Mr. B in some of the the transcripts.
Yeah, they never say his name and shit.
Yeah, and another accomplice known as Mr. A. So we got Mr. A,
as
Mr.
a brother,
B.
I'm going to be like, fuck you, I should be A. What the fuck is
right.
happening, dude?
Yeah, that's true. So this
Yes, Mr. B.
Yes, Mr. B.
This is how they were addressed in that book, apparently, that I mentioned earlier. Also, there's a group of what Lenny calls his sergeants, and they are William Moore, who's an important player in this, and Bobby Basher Bates. That's a good fucking name. Good gangster name. Kind of like,
fucking, I think Dave from Levidity got it from this fucking case. Dave Bash.
Oh, that's funny. I got it now. Yeah, for sure. I'm thinking of Whack Whack is another one that reminds me of this. That would be a good, pair there. Bobby Basher Bates and old Whack Whack in a killer cage match. It could get kind of brutal.
That'd be fucking violent.
Yeah, definitely.
You really want to get into it with Bobby Basher?
What the fuck?
So William Moore formerly works in a meat processing plant.
Oh, he's got skills just like Catherine Knight, bro.
I know. I thought the same thing about Catherine Knight, but this motherfucker's got, fuck, man, I got access to all these knives and meat cleavers. I could take care of everybody. I got skills. Sound like he's ready to throw down in a killer cage match,
Fucking right.
Another one.
Oh, he is ready to go.
Yeah, we could have done just a Shankill killer cage match tonight. Could have been
with
wild.
all the players in the game. Yeah.
Another guy that was part of this whole mess.
The variable could have been fucking the Iceman.
Oh, there you go. Oh, boy.
Oof.
Another guy who was involved here, too, Sam McAllister. He was this big bastard who would intimidate people. And so the gang shows up at a bar in nearby Millfield, and they find out that 4 of the employees are Catholic. And so, I mean, do they go around, like, asking people,
hey, what religion are you?
Protestant or Catholic? Protestant or Catholic?
I could see that.
Like really fucking weird. But they find out that these 4 are Catholic.
They probably wearing their rosaries and shit. They're just like,
I get maybe. I don't know. But Murphy shoots 3 of the 4 of them and then orders one of the others to kill the 4th. We're talking about 2 men, 2 women gunned down in this bar just for being Catholic. And this is October 1975. So this is kind of the kickoff to just what's going to fucking happen here.
nonstop rage.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Protestant thing, Chris, this rivalry with the Catholics, but like we were saying, is it that's the issue, or the whole Northern versus the rest of Ireland, which we certainly
Basically
would agree
the
it's
same.
probably that more than anything.
Yeah, basically that. I mean, the religion, I'm sure, has a part of it because, like you said, it's their areas. That's where they're at.
Right.
I don't like you, and their political beliefs, and then just it's basically like our Civil War, like you said, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's crazy though, Chris. We were talking about this in the pre-show meeting. Was the whole religion thing and how religion just starts so much fucking shit. I mean, it's unbelievable how much of that there's been.
that's the cause of. Other than oil, I think religion's the biggest part of war.
Yeah, it really
Like, for
is.
real.
I mean, Joey, we see it all over the world. I mean, you talk about the Muslim extremists, the Nazis, the Spanish Inquisition, and on and on and on. I mean, it just never fucking ends.
Yeah, and I mean that's something that you're tapping into people's fucking primal beliefs, their fucking upbringing beliefs. I mean, these people, like,
Right.
you're telling them something and they're not ever going to believe anything else, and when you got
The
somebody that's that
fanatics.
strong about it, yeah, if you're feeling that strong about it, then you're not going to fucking let people fucking talk shit on you,
Right. You're not gonna let it go.
So
Right.
yeah, I mean it's always going to be something that's going to be around. Not to mention, it's also fucking relying on the fact of the ultimate question in life is, what's there after life? Is there something after life? And
Right.
religion is something that explains that. It gives you a fucking answer, or it gives you,
Right,
a,
dude.
a
It
reason
tells you
to
this is-
continue to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't
mean,
know.
A lot of people look at religion as just kind of a way to keep the masses in line, and the people that are down and out, that would never carry on, they just killed themselves because what do they have to lose if they're miserable? Nothing's ever going to change, but this gives them hope, that if they
Yeah.
push
Yeah.
through, there's something at the end. And I don't think that inherently that's not a bad thing. I think when you get into these like fanatics or money gets involved, then that's when it starts to pollute it and distort it, and it becomes something that I think is very ugly and very hurtful, and like we've been saying, causing fucking war after war and all sorts of
Yeah.
fucking drama. So
I think it's just inevitable. It's like religion has caused more death than anything ever, like,
For
in my
sure.
opinion.
Yeah.
And that's probably a fact, and
Right.
but at the same time, it's something that no one's ever gonna let go
'Cause that's-
of,
Right.
Even if like Christianity fell in some of those religions and then something else takes over, there's always going to be something.
Exactly.
Right.
And the people that are of the majority that fucking believe in that, they're going to have power in the world in some form or another. That's why
Yeah.
Catholics and Protestants even to this day are still so deep rooted and have fucking money flowing through their systems and stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, dude. I agree with that. So the gang is using the second floor of the Brown Bear Pub in Shankill, which is near Lenny's home. This is their regular meeting place. So November 1975, a month after that incident at the bar where they killed the 4 Catholics.
It's like, hey, meet Bobby Basher Bates at the Brown Bear Bar.
Yeah, exactly. Say that 10 times fast, right?
Right.
So Murphy and his gang are roaming the streets in areas where they would expect to come across Catholics. So they go hang out outside at the Catholic New Lodge, and they're just creeping out there in this fucking black taxi cab, ready to just go fucking nuts. William Moore, the guy I mentioned earlier, he's the owner of the cab, and like I said, he becomes a more, part of the story as things unfold. So they come upon this fucking 34-year-old man, this poor bastard, father of 2. He's Catholic. He's walking at 12:40 a.m. Probably not a smart thing, but, I don't know if he's working late or whatever. The dude's taken to the Shankill, beaten horribly. And I saw this, Joey, that they were shoving a beer glass into his head, but I don't know how you would do that unless like your skull is like mush, you know? I mean,
right, unless they fucking broke it and were fucking impaling it with it.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, Jesus.
Whatever it was, regardless of
not
the way you
good.
look at it, it was brutal. Yeah.
Not good. These dudes are just fucking nasty as hell. They later took him and dumped the body in an alley because, like I said, they like doing the public display, where Murphy slit his throat so deep he nearly decapitated the man. So
That wouldn't be the last time that shit happens either.
true.
It kind of blows my mind that, you know, they commit these crimes, and like you said, they want to leave them in a public place because they want the message to come out there and shit.
Right.
It really blows my mind that they never fucking bombed Catholic churches or anything like that.
Yeah,
Or
they didn't
sat
fuck with
outside
any
one and gunned a
explosives.
bunch down. Yeah, no, something on a bigger level than just a few
Finding random
homicides at a
people,
time.
yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good, right? But maybe, you know,
No, that is good.
maybe he
yeah.
thought about it and thought the risk was too high from his courtroom, you know.
Sitting in on all the trials
Yeah, I
and
mean,
shit.
he was a smart guy for sure. So, yeah, this poor guy, this 34-year-old guy, just fucking nasty shit. Now, Chris, the family would say the man was beaten so badly they had to have a closed coffin. So
That's
pretty vicious.
if you're taking that kind of a beating that you can't even have an open casket at your funeral, the violence is real, and they had no remorse and didn't give a fuck what they were doing at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. The Joey, they don't wait. A few days later, there's some fighting, though, within the ranks of the Shankill Butchers. What was the deal with that?
It always seems like that's an issue that, you know,
Right.
you're going to have happen whenever you got these situations with these gangs and shit. I don't think we've talked about any of them where there hasn't been some kind of fucking altercation.
Right.
Yeah, amongst themselves, yeah.
Right. But, so, you know, there's two of them that get killed. Murphy himself, he fucking pistol whips one guy and then fucking shot him, like, in front of the fucking gang.
Right.
And, you know, it's just, I think in his situation, I don't know, you're not going to be the leader of the gang if you don't follow through on what you're fucking coming
Right.
with.
Yeah,
And
you got to
this
show them,
dude's-
don't fuck with me, or this is going to happen
Yeah.
to
Right.
you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he was like, I'm over it. This dude's fucking, I'm over it with this dude, and fucking, I want everybody to know right now that we're fucking meaning business.
Right.
You know, we fucking go out and kill these motherfuckers, but this dude to me is also the ops, and fucking I have to, you know,
Right.
get rid of him.
Exactly.
And he was like, y'all are going to watch me do this and respect that.
Oh, yeah. Definitely showing, you know, ruffling feathers just to show he means fucking business. I think that's a good point. So, Joey, a few days later, there's some fighting within the ranks. And like we were saying, but, you know, what made me think about this was the Frankie Carbone in the freezer, right?
Yeah.
That's such an iconic thing. Like, I love those memes when it's cold out. You know, it's like, I
Right.
thought I was cold, but I'm not Frankie
I'm not
Carbone
Frankie.
in the freezer cold. You know, I just love that stuff. But you know, when you think of
And it's
the
like-
Took them 2
infighting,
weeks to thaw them out.
yeah, the infighting, it just, you can't help but think of that Goodfellas stuff.
It's like
you know?
fucking Bronx Tale where he was like,
Yeah.
where he's telling him, he's like, those people don't love him, they fear him.
Fear
Right.
him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Bronx
And that's
Tale's
how
a
it's
great
Such a
movie.
great fucking movie.
That's
really
how
is.
Murphy wants to. That's how Murphy's trying to come across.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you're going
He
to
was
fear
like-
me or you're going to die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So now they got two more male victims and given the same treatment as the 34-year-old. They're snatched up, tortured, throats slit with a butcher knife by Lenny himself. So now the media is getting involved, of course, and running stories in the newspaper, and that's where the whole Shankill Butcher thing comes from. Locals hated being known for this
Oh,
and
I'm
wished.
sure.
The media was a huge reason all that shit came about.
Oh,
too.
it always is. You know, they
Yeah, they
snatch on
labeled
those
it and
names.
they. Oh god.
Yeah, and these people were pissed off.
Why? I mean, wouldn't you be like,
Well, yeah, you know, Be
I mean, how
like
would
the
you
Walnut Street Butchers.
I was
you
just
know?
gonna
I
say,
wouldn't
yeah.
like that very much.
You're like, oh wait, this is where I live.
So locals hated it, and Lenny's, he's from the neighborhood, so there's more than one reason for him to call them the Shankill Butchers. It's definitely got a cool ring to it.
Yeah, it does.
And it sells newspapers, and we know if it bleeds, it leads, and this certainly was bleeding profusely. The killings were happening, and that's what's going on. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the doc where they interview, we mentioned earlier, Countess May Blood. Okay, now you're hearing that right.
Maybe.
I saw this on the screen. There's this older lady with this like really thick fucking accent, okay?
She thick.
Going the fuck off about the Shankill Butchers. I mean, like, totally fucking hating on them. But the name at the bottom of the screen said Countess May, M-A-Y, Blood. Her name is May Blood. Okay.
And she's a countess.
And she's a countess.
I don't think Punky's going to appreciate that too much.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
he crip, yo.
That's
He crip as
true.
fuck.
Yeah.
So
He going to fight her.
She was just a fucking badass, and she was like very, very politically involved. She's part of the Northern Ireland Women's Coalition. I Googled her and found her Wikipedia page, talks about her political career. She was very accomplished, but I just thought, what a cool fucking name. And she just really thought they made the neighborhood look terrible, and obviously it did. And I just saw that May Blood died 11 days ago, recording this on October 21st. That'd be 2022. So she just died, but the accent was great. And Joey, I know you said you watched it. What did you think about her?
Yes. She was a character. Let's just put it
definitely
that way.
very feisty.
Yeah. R.I.P. That's pretty wild that she just passed away as we're doing this episode. Kind of.
That would have been awesome to get May Blood on the
that would have been
interview.
dope
That
as
would have been
shit.
bad.
That
as
would have been
fuck.
awesome.
Oh my
That would have been
God.
bad as fuck. Yeah, so poor May, but definitely led a full life, and like I said, very, very down on the Shankill Butcher thing, especially because that's where she was from as well. Now, Chris, just like any time shit like this is going on and the media's covering it,
Oh, it gets out of control.
people
bro.
are freaking out.
Yeah, and obviously these guys are going around, and the main connection between these guys is they were Catholic, or whatever.
Right, killing Catholics, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the victims. That was the main connection, Catholic.
Right.
But then they're interviewing families, and they're finding out, wait, hold on a second, that dude wasn't even Catholic.
I know,
Why?
there were some, it's like, oops.
Oh, they got the wrong guy.
Right.
And they're probably like, after they killed him, like, shit, we got the wrong guy.
Yeah, these people need to wear like name tags or something.
It's fucking it's just so it throws them off from killing the Catholics. If you throw a Protestant in there every now and again, it's like, oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. You're right, though, that they were just sloppy and not always killing the right target.
Right.
Joey,
I want to know how they knew how they thought about
exactly
that dude's a Catholic. We got to kill that.
Other
one.
than coming out of that Catholic club or whatever,
unless
they
you
were
saw
hanging out.
coming out
Other
of
than that, I don't know how you would know, unless they're like swinging the rosary.
Like I said,
around.
wearing their rosaries and whatnot.
I don't
dude.
know. Dropping to a knee and taking a wafer. I don't fucking know.
It's not like they're
represent.
Yeah, it's not like they're a Hasidic Jew with the big long sideburns, yo. You can point them out real quick.
You can. Now, Joey, the police always hate being under a microscope, and this is just going to create that,
Oh yeah, this is like everybody wants this shit fucking stopped. Like you said, it's happening in broad daylight.
Right.
It's just fucking nonsense and ridiculous to fucking most of the fucking common people that are living in these fucking areas.
Right.
Not to mention in the Shankills. And, you know, it's like, hey, cops, why don't you fucking do something about this?
And
you guys seem to be able to fucking take care of a bunch of other fucking situations.
Right.
You got me in the drunk tank last night, but you can't figure this shit out.
Yeah, I mean, they really felt that as the Catholics felt that they were being singled out, and if the victims were Protestant, maybe they would have done something about it, which is interesting,
Yeah.
But I did see, they're driving around in this black taxi, but that was common.
Yeah, they said there was like hundreds of black taxis.
Yeah, because Belfast was using the London used taxis, and most of those were black. So that's how they ended up there in Belfast. So pretty interesting. So they're blending in very well with the black taxi that William owned. Now, the cop who's looking to shut these fucking guys down is another interesting character, old Jimmy Nesbitt. This guy's a little feisty as well. And Joey, you watched that. He definitely had the real thick accent. And he got a little testy a couple times, felt like he was, kind of being... When the interviewer talked about how the people thought they weren't doing their job
and shit, right?
He was like, well, this is what we did day and night. Like, we were very committed.
This ain't no bullshit.
Yeah, and I don't think he was like mad at the guy, but you could tell it definitely hit a nerve with him. He's the chief inspector, the police detective. He's the one that believed all the killings were done by the same people. There was one witness who heard voices and described a black taxi. Again, that's not real helpful.
When they're everywhere.
When there's thousands of them.
It's like being in New York and being like, yeah, it was a yellow taxi.
Yeah, it was a yellow taxi. Right? Now, this is what would lead to William Moore's taxi being examined for evidence. But the gang was very good at cleaning themselves up and cleaning up after their mess, so nothing was found. Later, Murphy would make Moore get rid of the taxi because, he doesn't want any problems. And he ends up buying a yellow Ford Cortina.
So he went from a black
to a yellow,
taxi.
Which I'm thinking that's not very inconspicuous.
Yeah.
And I Googled what it looks like, and it just kind of looks like a 1970s sedan. There's nothing really distinctive about it. But yeah, yellow. So it's like, not very, if everybody's driving a black.
Did they sell those in the
taxi.
U.S. or were those just European cars?
I'm not
made
sure.
by Ford.
It was Ford. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, I'm just saying it happens.
Right. Exactly. So it was, pretty basic 1970s sedan, 4-door. He would use the car in subsequent murders. So, that's
and yellow was the best color to get.
I guess. Now, March of 76, Murphy decides to kill a Catholic woman in a drive-by, and he gets arrested for attempted murder because she lives, and he's getting visits from 2 of the gang members, and he tells them to continue the killings to help draw the attention away from him. And ends up pleading guilty to a firearms charge and gets 12 years. So he's not going anywhere.
And the fact that he's still able to control these people while he's in prison, no, you still got to go fucking kill
a lot of these gangs are like that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's like
Charles Manson.
Right.
He's like, hey, go do some similar killing so they think the dude's still out there so I can get out of here.
Yeah.
Right.
That's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. The control that they have over people is
on a smaller level, you got fucking Angelo or fucking Ken Bianchi.
Right.
On a smaller level, but he had that female afterwards that he had to go out try to do a similar
doing some stupid shit with his jizz.
Oh my god,
that was whacked. Oh god,
dude, the jizz thing, dude. It's like the goddamn Chicago Ripper crew coming on the tit and then eating it. Like, what the fuck is that?
Definitely fucked up. But he gets 12 years. But as we're going to get into here in a little bit, he ends up with a better deal than the rest of them, kind of. But we'll get to all that. Now, Chris, the gang keeps on killing. This time it's August of 76. 2 of them attack a man with a hatchet. Here we go with the hatchets.
That's what's up.
And
if you're going to do it right.
He dies from his injuries. So old William got those hatchets from the work place and brings him to the gang hideout.
They fucking got him pretty fucking bad. This wasn't a closed casket, but they had the I listened to a girl talking about it. Like they had a thing coming up to hold his head up, and and they had he was covered all the way up to his chin like this to hide the fucking wounds on his throat and shit. I was just like, damn it, and you let him have an open casket too, but good looking on you.
Yeah, that's fucked up. They definitely hacked him up bad. Definitely very brutal, very metal.
Oh, it's super metal,
very metal. What kind of music do you think, Chris, a metalhead hacking up somebody with a hatchet would be listening to?
Obviously decapitated.
Decapitated. All right.
I mean, it's sitting right there in front of you.
That's true. Now, Joey, do you think the cops were turning a blind eye? I mean, they always get that rap, when they can't figure out what's going on.
I don't know if they were turning a blind eye or not, but you got to think fucking Ireland's not a big place.
No, it's not.
I mean, to think that some of those cops are probably involved with those dudes somehow too, and they've got it in with the police force in some fucking level.
Right.
I would think so.
I mean, they're going to have their own, religious and political views of their own too, so they're obviously...
Exactly.
Right.
They're going to be like, oh, I'm Protestant. I don't have a problem with this. Fuck those guys or whatever.
It's very possible. Like you said, they're human beings. Now, so William Moore is now the guy in charge because Lenny's in prison.
Hold on. So I'm thinking of it like this. Imagine the cop was, say, a cop in fucking Mississippi in the 60s and 70s. On the side, he's going to KKK meetings and shit.
And a lot of them did, unfortunately.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. It's the same basic thing.
True.
I'm out here supposed to be your protector, but on this other side,
when I'm off the clock, I'm
when I'm off the clock,
side.
I'm like, fuck it, dude.
Yeah, it's very unfortunately that kind of thing did go on. But Lenny's still calling the shots, but he's inside prison. He's getting these visits from Mr. A and Mr. B. The killings continued with 3 more men being kidnapped, tortured, and hacked up with the hatchets again.
It said the torture that they inflicted on him was pretty fucking brutal too.
Yeah, I didn't see any details on that. That's why I wished I would have got that book.
Yeah, I didn't see the details, but they were explaining that it was bad.
Wow. Yeah, definitely some brutal shit. Multiple members of the gang were involved in the murders. The bodies were dumped in the Shankill to get that message out. Don't fuck with us. So William Moore gets arrested in 1977, and there are some opposing views about whether he was really in charge or one of Lenny's brothers was maybe running the show. I guess it doesn't really fucking matter.
Obviously, Lenny's still running it from prison, telling somebody what to do.
Exactly. And I mean, the whole house of cards is getting ready to implode here.
Right.
Now, Chris, they finally slip up. May of 1977, they kidnap a guy in Belfast and take him. And what happens, man?
They torture him. They beat the fucking shit out of him.
Right.
And they cut him up, because that's what they do. They love cutting motherfuckers.
Right.
Hence butchers.
Right.
And they left him for dead in an alley. And
unfortunately, though,
he lived.
He lived.
And he was able to get to a lady's house, and they got the police. And guess what? Not good for you. Don't leave a witness, bro. Especially when it's your victim.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they definitely, he learned that lesson from this. But Jimmy Nesbitt, that police inspector, he's on the case, and he comes up with a plan. Did you see this shit?
Yeah, they got a victim, from the Shankill Butchers, so they're like, okay, how about we take him, we'll drive him around in the area of the Shankills,
right.
See if he notices the people that assaulted him,
right?
And sure enough, he was able to fucking, point out at a couple of the guys.
Could you imagine that?
Which led the police right to him.
Could you imagine just cruising around all the time, fucking all day long
in a cop car?
In a cop car, but in the place that you almost got murdered viciously.
Right. Yeah, they said they had him in a disguise, but I don't know if it was like a mustache and like Groucho Marx kind
Still, it's not going to disguise the flashbacks you're having driving
Oh,
past.
that's true too. Yeah, that's true too. So definitely pretty ballsy. But or I thought maybe the other one would have been those hillbilly teeth they sell like at Huck's.
Why you gotta talk shit about me, bro?
No, your teeth are all pretty. So under police interrogation, the gang members eventually admit their involvement. But many are, start retracting their statements because they don't want to get fucking whacked. Lenny Murphy and his brother, definitely not people to be fucking around with.
The pictures of them, they're pretty big dudes. I mean,
yeah, I didn't see a picture of his brother John, but I know that there was the one guy with him that was the big dude, but there was probably more than one. Retaliation, the Northern Ireland group would be the other concern he would have. Not only Lenny or the brother, but the group that they were a part of.
I mean, like, oh no, we got to protect Lenny's thoughts. Kill that guy.
Right. So I don't blame them one bit. These guys are fucking nuts. The trial of the gang members is going on 1978, 1979. In the end, 11 men are convicted of 19 murders. A total of 42 life sentences was the most ever in British history for one trial. Life without the possibility of parole. And the author of that book I mentioned, Martin Dillon, believes that many others escaped prosecution, and it doesn't surprise me at all. There had to be a lot more people involved in this, but they got who they got, and you can add,
and you got the main guy.
Yeah, and you add the 4 from the first incident at the bar to the 19. That's where they come up with 23. And Martin Dillon thinks the number's probably more like 30, but still a lot. Now, Chris, Inspector Jimmy Nesbitt feels they really missed the big fish because Lenny...
Yeah, he didn't get no life sentences.
No, he's doing a 12-year bit, so he's going to get out.
Like, 12 years for fucking 23...
A weapons charge.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was, a weapons
What he
charge.
was in there for.
Yeah, but still, how did he not get a life sentence?
I don't know, because I think his lawyers, I guess, were able to show he was in prison, so he wasn't doing anything.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's how it was.
You can't prove that he was
sure.
running it from the inside.
Maybe, that's why I really am thinking, the more I'm thinking about it, I think I am going to get the book just because now I'm more curious.
Like, what the fuck
May
is
have
going
to do
on,
a brutal rewind on this if I figure it out. So Joey Lenny gets out in 1982, and what the hell does he decide to do the first day he's out of fucking prison?
He's gonna go fucking find a dude that's mentally challenged and beat him to death.
Yeah,
that's the best idea.
Hell, dude.
I don't know. I don't know if he was just like so pissed off while he was locked up. He was like, I don't give a fuck. When I get out, I'm fucking killing somebody. Because he already been killing people, so he fucking knows, the feeling.
But the day you get out of prison, that's what you do?
Yeah, because you've had all that pent-up anger.
I guess.
It's kind of like finally busting a nut for him, maybe. Maybe it was finally busting a nut for him,
Maybe. And too, he was all about the image thing. Maybe he wanted to show people
Go
I'm
out there
fucking
and show,
back.
look, I just got out
Yeah,
today.
he's like, I'm
me,
still
man.
here,
Right?
motherfuckers, and now he starts assembling a new gang.
Yeah, he's putting a new group together. He's out of fucking control. A month later, in August of 1982, he shoots a dude in the head who considered to be an informer. So you know how he feels about that.
He hated snitches for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, dude, don't talk about me.
A month later, he kills a guy that he owed money to. So that's fucked up. Get this,
it makes sense. Now you don't got to pay him.
He poisoned the guy at a club in the Shankill, shot him from the back of a motorcycle while this dude's in a car. He's not trying to be
inconspicuous
chill.
at all.
He's just out there off the back of a motorcycle. By the way, the motorcycle being driven by Sam Mambo Carroll. So another good fucking gangster
They were
name.
riding nut to butt.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Mambo fucking riding that bike. He's on the back shooting this fucking guy.
Hey, look,
I mean,
look.
what
At
the
least
fuck?
Mambo wasn't behind him.
That's true.
Oof.
That's true.
Dude, that's some fucking action movie shit.
I know.
Just
Straight
on a
up.
bike,
That's
just
what Jenny was
shooting at
saying.
motherfuckers.
Right?
Like straight up
God
fucking
damn.
80s, 90s action movie
Totally.
shit, dude.
A month later, though, the carnage continues. A guy by the last name of Cochran was kidnapped by the IRA. This infuriates Murphy, so he decides he's going to kidnap a Catholic to, like, retaliate. They torture the fuck out of this dude, pull all his teeth out with pliers, but 3 of them.
Oh my
Beat
God,
him
bro.
to death with shovels. I mean, this is like some brutal ass shit for sure.
Well, that's Goodfellas. Oh no, they used bats in Casino at the end.
Casino, yeah.
Or not Casino, Goodfellas. I mean,
Goodfellas, yeah.
I was saying Pesci's brother in the cornfield.
yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Casino.
okay, it was Casino.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was Casino. Now, Joey, I hope that, you know, the brutality is meeting your expectations with this one.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, definitely. And Chris, it feels good to be
this
talking
is a
about
good one.
killing again on Murder Metal Mayhem.
Man, you say that to the wrong person, they're gonna be like, "Hey, you need to watch these guys." 'cause-
Exactly. Catch another band, right?
Right.
But this shit had to come to a bloody end. All these stories do. The IRA put a hit out on Lenny Murphy. He gets gunned down outside his girlfriend's house November of 1982. A van pulled up, and he dies instantly in a hail of bullets,
Just
just
goddamn
as these guys typically
unloaded.
go. Yeah. The IRA didn't deny it, but instead issued a statement to justify the murder or execution of Lenny Murphy. So, again, you know, we're not taking sides here. This is definitely a hostile debate still today.
Right.
So
It's a
you
fucking
guys
eye
sort
for
it
an
out,
eye, man.
Yeah, we're just reporting some information here. But Joey, it's no surprise that Lenny's mom denies his involvement. Said my Lenny wouldn't hurt a fly. So
I mean, hey,
they all say that.
that's what a real loving, you know, mother with fucking unconditional love. She's gonna forever say that about her kid.
That's
you know?
true. That's true. So
And it's fun. It's funny because whatever you were talking about, you know, wouldn't hurt a fly, and you know that's what she did say. But
right.
I just went to the Toledo Symphony and saw fucking Psycho with the orchestra playing the music
Right.
live, and that's what it reminded me of, because at the end of fucking Psycho, whenever Norman's sitting there talking in his mom's voice and the fly's on his hand, she's like,
Yeah.
see that fly? I wouldn't even hurt a fly. You know, and that's what I was
Right,
thinking of when
yeah.
we were talking about that.
Right. That's funny. So Chris, his funeral's attended by thousands from that movement he was involved with.
No, he wasn't involved with shit, dude. Nobody. You don't get thousands of people from this one movement coming if you're not involved.
Yeah, definitely.
And fucking headstone. Here lies a soldier.
Right.
What the fuck, dude?
Oh,
Yeah.
Baroness Bay Blood had something to
No, it's
say about that.
Countess.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Countess Mayblood says she was like, no, fuck that. Not verbatim.
Right.
Right. She's like, no, my father was a fucking soldier who fought in 2 wars. Lenny Murphy isn't a soldier. He's a murdering thug. So that's all Countess Mary Blood's fucking thoughts on that.
Yeah.
And when that's your
Mayblood.
name, you gotta fucking
Talk some shit.
yeah. Come on, man.
So there were some members of the gang who were eventually released. Even William Moore eventually gets out, which I don't know how that was the case because he got no parole, but apparently he did. I'm not sure about it. I did read that there were a few other deaths during the reign of the Shankill Butchers that the police believe they could actually pin on them, but I don't know. It's been a while, and I'm not sure if that's even a thing anymore.
Right.
But hats off to Jimmy Nesbitt for finally bringing these guys down, and he also recently passed a couple years ago, Jimmy Nesbitt. But Lenny Murphy got his in the end, you know. I mean,
he got taken out the way fucking he took others out.
Exactly. And so kind of a fitting end to his story. But guys, anything to add to the Shankill Butchers, man?
I don't think I got anything.
Joey?
No. I think we covered the bases.
Yeah, I think we did too. I did my research by watching that good documentary on YouTube I mentioned. Really good. A couple of good articles. The one on the History Channel website was excellent. Not a ton out there on this, but there is stuff. You have to look. But that one documentary, I can't remember who put that together, but if you Google or search Shankill Butchers in YouTube, that'll be the one that comes up. And, maybe pick up that book. I know I am. I saw a couple on eBay for like $10, so they weren't that much, shipping and everything. So, it might be worth a read. I think I'm going to pick it up just to add to my library.
You might as
I've
well.
got such an extensive collection of books. I've been going on a tear with horror novels here lately, so some true crime, not a bad thing to add either.
Never is.
No. Joey, I picked up a book that they claim is supposed to be more brutal than the Silence of the Lambs stuff, written in the 70s. Yeah, pretty interesting. So I've been watching some...
What's it called?
You would ask me that. I could tell you on a break. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, it's cool, but I picked it up on eBay for like $4.
Which book?
And pretty cool. The one by Shane Stevens, the one about
you told me earlier. I can't remember what you said it was.
So next week, though, guys, we're going to continue the brutality, getting into some Philip Jablonski, who is a serial killer, and that one I told you guys about in the text message, that's the one.
Oh, yeah,
That's the one to watch because it's really good. It's like an hour and something long, and it gets into all the details with this Jablonski case, which is fascinating. Killing in California and Utah, 5 women that they know of. There's probably more. 1978 to 1991. Exactly. And so, who knows, but it's a good story. Some awful shit. Removing eyes, ears. In one case, he carved "I love Jesus" into the back of that woman's skin, which is fucked up.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, he's got an audio diary. He's got an audio diary, and we're going to play some of the clips too. It's creepy as fuck. I mean, listen to this guy record himself talking about his murders and stuff.
Oh my God,
it's
dude.
pretty awful. So the Shankill Butchers were brutal as hell, but Jablonski's definitely going to turn it up a couple notches. So everyone needs to get the fuck ready for next week because it's going to get brutal.
God damn.
So Joey, you got any good page a day for us? I was surprised their Shankill Butchers were at 1 hour and 22 minutes. So this is definitely a little bit longer of an episode, but I think it's a good topic and 23 victims, a lot of carnage to get into. So. What do you got?
Right. Yeah, I got a couple page a days. I'm going to rip through them, and then I got a bonus something I was going to bring up too.
Okay.
But the first one is called the Peoria County John Doe, and I thought that was pretty cool. John Doe.
Oh, I thought you said Don Doe. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
No, the Peoria County John Doe. So of course, when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, Peoria.
Right.
Which is over by where Chris and Peter
is it like Peoria, Illinois?
Yeah.
Oh shit, nice.
All right, so this is one of the John Does. They do these every now and then. They're pretty cool. June 12th, 2017, the owner of River's Edge Campground in Kingston Mines, Illinois, found a Halloween decoration washed up on the banks of the Illinois River. He brought it into his house thinking nothing of it until the decoration started to stink.
Get the fuck
because it was actually it was actually a human skull.
Oh, no.
I'm like, how the fuck do you find that in the river and think it's a decoration? Like, how do you not think it's real?
How did I not hear of this?
Yeah. Anyway, so investigators used DNA matching to connect the disembodied skull to a man's torso that had been recovered on the river back in November 13th, 2016. So a distinctive hole in the skull, initially thought to be a gunshot wound, was later determined to have been caused by blunt force trauma. On January 28, 2020, the Peoria County Sheriff's Office announced the skull and torso belonged to a man named John Herman Frisch Jr. The DNA Doe Project had made the tentative match to Frisch in December 2019, and his identity was then confirmed via dental records from Hawaii, where he had an alternate address.
What the fuck?
Once his identity was confirmed, investigators began retracing Frisch's movements in the days before his torso was found, and the investigation is currently ongoing.
No shit, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Damn.
Over in
They have
Peoria.
to keep up
Brutal.
with that. That's fucking wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now, Page a Day, every now and then they come with one that I've never heard that's really fucking good. And this is the last one I got from Page a Day. But man, I'd never heard of this lady, and this is a fucked up ass case. So here we go. This is talking about this lady named Shirley Winters. Now, in 1966, 8-year-old Shirley Winters, she narrowly escaped death. There was a carbon dioxide leak in her family home that killed her 3 siblings in their sleep. And she happened to be sleeping at her grandmother's house the night that it happened, so she was spared. Now, the loss weighed heavily on her, and it prompted a deadly lifelong obsession that psychologists call a repetitive compulsion. She grew up to be a serial arsonist and serial murderer, reenacting the tragic event of that fateful night again and again.
No
In
shit.
1979, a fire in Winters' friend's cabin in upstate New York killed her friend's 3 young children. The following day, a fire in Winters' own cabin killed her 3-year-old daughter Colleen and 20-month-old son John. In 1980, Winters' infant son Ronald, he died seemingly from sudden infant death syndrome.
Jesus.
In 1981, Winters was charged with criminal mischief in relation to 2 fires, which she would later fall under suspicion for 15 more fires. There was another fire at her Syracuse home in 1989. She rescued 2 of her young children, but directed the third to stay inside the burning house.
Oh my
The
god,
third
dude.
the child did make it out of the burning house, though.
Good.
It wasn't until 2006, after 2-year-old Ryan Rivers was drowned in the bathtub of his grandparents' house while Winters was visiting them, that Winters was finally charged with second-degree murder, first-degree assault, and endangering the welfare of a child. Prompted by Rivers' murder, the police began to investigate the death of all of her children.
Right.
When they exhumed the bodies of Colleen, John, and Ronald, they found that Colleen and John had both died of blunt force trauma before the 1979 fire had occurred, and that Ronald had been smothered. In 2008, Winters took a plea bargain. She pleaded guilty to manslaughter for drowning Rivers and smothering Ronald, avoiding prosecution for the murders of Colleen and John. She was sentenced for up to 20 years for killing Rivers and 25 years for Ronald, to be served concurrently. She'll be eligible for parole next year in 2023.
Holy shit, dude! Really?
What was her first name
Yeah.
again?
Colleen Winters. Or, I'm sorry, Shirley Winters.
Okay.
So they say that many feel that Shirley Winters slipped through the cracks of the psychiatric system.
Right.
She had been institutionalized. 28 times before she was arrested in
damn.
2006, and she displayed a plethora of disturbing behavior. She claimed that she. Oh shit. But she claimed that she was hearing babies' voices when there was no one around. She told a psychotherapist that she had 9 personalities and later admitted that she made it up. Wow. She tried to jump off a bridge after visiting the graves of her first 2 children.
God damn.
She told a psychiatrist that when she interviewed for jobs, she made sure that the workplace had a quiet, private room where she could respond to her hallucinations. She said that she didn't stay on her medications often because A, she couldn't afford them, B, they made her feel overweight, or C, she just plain forgot.
Wow.
Her therapist noted that Winters felt compelled to bang her head against the wall and would stab her legs with sharp objects.
God damn, dude.
That's
And
But-
she feared that she would die every year on the anniversary of the deaths of her 3 siblings in 1966.
damn.
Dude.
Fucking weird bitch. Fucking
Yeah,
Shirley
like how did
Winters.
she get away with so many fires and deaths that long though?
That's
Holy
crazy.
Dude,
fuck!
and
dude.
that's what I'm saying. Like that
a
might be
good
one that we
case.
have to do to delve a
Oh,
little
yeah.
fucking deeper into
No, that's
it.
a good case.
And the last thing I wanted to say real fast, especially since we're in murder, is we always talk about what we've been listening to, and that's awesome. But also, we all check out a bunch of true crime, so we could probably fucking do one called
sure.
"What have you guys been fucking
Watching,
Anyway,
yeah.
so but one that I've been watching for a really long time is the missing or the mystery of who killed 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German in Delphi, Indiana.
murders, yeah, dude.
Yeah, the Delphi murders. It was a creepy case. And you know they had fucking got on video the dude who fucking walked up on
It's
them. And he
grainy
fucking
as
was,
fuck.
yeah, and they had audio and shit. But it was 5 years that they didn't know, you know, who had killed these 2 young girls, and they just arrested a man, Richard Allen, who's a CVS pharmacy tech in Delphi.
Really?
They just arrested him for the murders.
Wow, that sounds
so
good.
I thought as an ongoing case, and another reason why I brought this up is because, you know, I live in the 419 Toledo now, but when I would drive from 309 Bloomington here and back, Delphi is the spot that I would stop and gas up, and that was my halfway point or whatever. So
shit.
it was weird that I even knew this town's only 3,000 people.
Right,
so,
a small ass
you
town,
know,
yeah.
yeah, so I was like, damn, I've been there, and, you know, I wanted to always go check out the railroad tracks, and I probably will one day, but I thought it was kind of creepy, but I know they got a memorial for him. But anyway, they arrested the suspect who did it, so hopefully that'll be a, you know, closing
that'd
for
be
the
fucking
family.
Yeah,
Great.
definitely,
Shit,
definitely. Very cool. Yeah, my computer said no more memories, so
Yeah, I
the
saw
video
that.
shut off. But Hindenburg's still recording us, so that's important. So yeah, for you viewers or people listening, the viewers will get the tail end, and we'll have to fade that out or something on the video.
Right.
All right, so
Or we could just stop after the metal or the murders.
we could. So anyway, guys, we have done our fair share of murdering tonight, a little extra, and I think it's time to crank it the fuck up and talk about some metal. So Joey, what the hell are we gonna do?
Let's get
Just
a fucking
because
metal
CK
on.
has passed
Anal
on,
Cunt.
he's not done educating the masses. CK will forever be the great metal motherfucker. We're here to stomp poser ass and eradicate the planet of their kind. CK has passed the torch to us, and we will forge the fuck on. In CK's name, we will bestow metal knowledge upon all of you.
All right, doing
The
some
great
metal.
metal motherfucker.
That's right. CK always, this segment always dedicated to CK, the great metal motherfucker. Hard to believe, though, guys. It's been past a year now. Just crazy to think.
Yeah.
Now, Joey, you have the horns tonight. That's the deal we did when we started doing this. When CK died, we decided to do it where each of
I
us
see
gets a
Chris
turn.
grabbing them.
Chris is grabbing them.
That's for you, homie.
We
Yep.
got the
That's
3
for
goat
you.
horns here, and he is passing them telepathically through the
It's
internet
witchcraft, man.
to Joey over there. Because Joey, do you have horns yet or no?
I don't.
You don't. All right. Well,
No,
it's okay.
I bought a poster instead.
No, yeah, that's fucking better.
No, it's all good. So yeah, so Chris has passed you the horns, and you've decided that it's your turn. So you get to pick who we're going to cover, and so you
Had
got
to slug a little water to wash down my fucking Pop-Tart.
Fucking right.
Yeah, we got those Pop Tarts from Tex. Chris, you had
Fuck
and I
yeah.
had the same one.
Yeah, the fucking apple fritter ones are
Apple
dope.
fritter, really good. So thanks
He
again,
said y'all are
Tex.
tart rich again.
That's right. That's right. Thanks again, Tex and Mrs. Tex, for helping us out. We're getting a little low, so now we're all tart rich over here again. So,
Okay.
All right, Joey, go ahead, buddy.
We're in metal, and we got kicked off of Facebook. Our fucking Murder Bell Mayhem page got fucking taken down. We still got a group page, but, so fuck them. We ain't worried about it. We fucking set up our own website. And now I'm going to do a band that fucking Facebook would totally hate.
Yeah,
most
100%.
And most people totally hate, so it's fucking perfect. So the band I'm doing is Anal Cunt. Anal Cunt was formed in 1988 in Newton, Massachusetts, which is right outside of Boston. Seth Putnam, he was the man behind Anal Cunt. There was a ton of musicians throughout the existence of this band, but Seth Putnam was fucking Anal Cunt. They were innovators in grindcore noise, and fucking Seth Putnam himself was a master troll at a time before fucking trolling was even a thing. Like this dude was pushing buttons any fucking way he could, and he fucking made a name for himself in the worst possible ways. Yeah. So whenever he came up with the name of the band, like his whole idea was to attempt to get the most offensive, stupid, dumb, etc. name possible that he could. And that's what he came up with, was Anal Cunt. Now, there's some people that think that he got the name from G.G. Allen, because G.G. Allen has a song called Anal Cunt, but actually, G.G. Allen wrote that song years after Anal Cunt was already a band.
Right.
Oh, interesting. What year did you say they started again, Joey?
1988.
88, okay.
Yep. So Anal Cunt, and actually the band Anal Cunt, they were actually formed originally just as a joke, and all they were supposed to do was one demo and one show. That was it. That was like the whole idea behind Anal Cunt. But the band actually lasted until 2011, so
wow.
Took on a life of its own. Their first show, I remember, was at basically Seth Putnam's house for his mom, his sister, some of his mom's friends, and his grandma, I think, and that was like the show and shit.
Oh wow.
But they ended up, doing a little bit more than that, started doing some shows, and they ended up putting their music out through Earache Records. Earache Records took a shine to them and hooked them up. So
it's crazy that you get a fucking record label listening to Anal Cunt, like, we should sign these fucking guys.
Yeah. So 1994, they come out with their album Everyone Should Be Killed. Now, I'm just going to zip through some of the albums, some of the other shit first, and then I'm going to come back to a little more of the detail. But Everyone Should Be Killed, 1994. 1995, they came out with Top 40 Hits. Now, 1996, they came out with what's my favorite album, 40 More Reasons to Hate Us. And on that one, they actually had Scott Hole in on it with them, who Scott Hole plays with the Agoraphobic Nosebleed and Pig Destroyer. So he's a big name. And also, all over that album was Phil Anselmo. He was basically fucking around for all the recordings, which also Seth Putnam did backing vocals on the Great Southern Trendkill at the same time. So kind of made sense.
Yeah.
Then 1997, they put out I Like When You Die. I Like It When You Die. I mean, I'm not even going to go through all the fucking titles of the tracks. But there are some funny-ass fucking songs on that one. In 1999, Anal Cunt puts out It Just Gets Worse. In May 2000, they're dropped from Earache Records. However, Earache Records did ask them to come back later on, which they declined to do so. Now, through this, they've been touring. They've been going fucking to the West Coast. They've been fucking going overseas. They started playing Europe, went over to Japan. And it's crazy because this is like a fucking grind noise band.
Right.
Just out here improvising some metal shit, you know what I'm saying? And getting fucked
That was
up.
supposed to be a joke.
Yeah, for sure. And fucking, they're doing shit. They put out an EP called Defenders of the Hate. In October 2004, Seth Putnam OD'd. He was in a coma for almost a month. Now, the doctor, well, later on, They said that they said it was for press, but they said that he got put in a coma from taking sleeping pills. Well, later on, Seth Putnam said that it was sleeping pills along with alcohol, crack, and heroin. So
that'll do it.
It's probably
That'll do it.
Anyway, while he was in the coma, the doctors, they figured that if he survived, he was going to be brain dead, and they were going to pull the plug on him. And then his mom intervened on that and didn't, and then he ended up coming out of it. Now, when he did come out of the coma, he was paralyzed, and like he was still doing shows, and he fucking like did the first one like a couple or whatever in a chair and shit through the whole set. And it's wild too, because if you look back on Anal Cunt, they did some tours with some pretty amazing bands. Like Incantation was their homies. Mortician, they fucking toured with them. I mean, they were just a part of the scene. Plus Earache, it was just.
Those
it's
are two
weird.
New York bands too, so it kind of makes sense just geographically.
Yeah, for sure.
That they knew them and shit.
Now, even though he was paralyzed and like he was still doing shows, he still played his songs, like the one called "You're in a Coma." He still played. He's like, "Fuck that." He's like, "I wrote that shit," In 2008, they put out a 110 song CD. That's what it was called, the 110 song CD. And in 2010, they put out what would be their last albums. He was going to write one full album, but then he ended up splitting it in two. And the first one was called Fucking A, and it was all cock rock shit. It was him doing just fucking hilarious cock rock songs. And then he also put out Wearing Out Our Welcome, which would end up being Anal Cunt's last album that came out. On June 11th, 2011, Seth Putnam died of suspected heart attack, and that was the end of Anal Cunt. There is a lot more that goes into Anal Cunt that I didn't get into. There's all kinds of controversial shit. He had so many different members, and all of them were so fucked up in their own ways and in and out of jail and fucking just ridiculous shit. And I will say that it's wild to this day to me that with such a fucking some reason the PC culture is really strong, and especially in grindcore, like they're fucking Antifa and all that shit's really fucking heavy and all that stuff. So they try to fucking wipe out anything that they deem, offensive or whatever. For whatever reason, everybody in grindcore loves Anal Cunt though. And like,
and
they
no
get
matter
some
how
kind of
offensive
pass.
they are.
Yeah. No matter what they did. So, the last thing I was going to say about Anal Cunt, probably nobody's even going to like that shit. So if you're listening to this, I hope you just got to laugh at it, because that's some noisy, insane shit. But
I love Anal Cunt.
I do too. And when I was growing up, when I first heard that was like the craziest extreme shit that was available to me that I had ever heard. And I ended up doing a band with Clay called Slaughter Farm Gangbang, and it's definitely fucking heavily influenced by that kind of style too. But the last thing I was going to say about Anal Cunt is I'm going to read off a handful of fucking names of some of their songs, and I had to pick and choose because some of them I can't say on
right.
in the public.
Some
now.
of it's like ooh.
But anyway, if you wanted to check out Anal Cunt, check out some of these delightful tracks. Eazy-E Got AIDS from Freddie Mercury. I sent concentration camp footage to America's Funniest Home Videos. Rancid Sucks, and the Clash sucked too. Connor Clapton committed suicide because his dad sucks.
Oh my god!
I made your kid get AIDS so you could watch it die. The only reason men talk to you is because they want to get laid. You stupid fucking cunt. Deadbeat dads are cool. I sold your dog to a Chinese restaurant. I got an office job for the sole purpose of sexually harassing women. No, we don't want to do a split 7-inch with your stupid fucking band. Living Color is my favorite black metal band.
Oh my god!
Don't offer me weak drugs or I'll kick your fucking ass. Limp Bizkit thinks they're black, but they're just gay. And then lastly, their song "Chris Barnes is a Pussy."
Yeah,
and that's how that's how I'll segue out of Anal Cunt, because they were at a show and Chris Barnes was there. Seth Putnam, he was like, "I'm gonna fucking whoop your fucking ass." And legend has it that Chris Barnes got on that tour bus and he wouldn't fucking come off for shit. So then Anal Cunt wrote that song, Chris Barnes is a pussy.
Oh, no way. Good stuff. Great song titles, though. Those are fucking epic. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Oh, they get worse.
Oh, yeah.
They get worse.
Good stuff. Now, Chris, you got a lost classic for us, right?
Fuck yeah, dude. Fucking 2003's fucking Sworn Enemies, as real as it gets. Fucking love it, dude. Fucking thrash crossover fucking shit. Fucking New York scene.
Right.
Fucking badass. I love it, dude.
That's cool. That's cool.
A little hardcore in there. Fucking
yeah, I
fucking
like
dope.
a little. I like Propane, and that's definitely in that ballpark, but not all of it. I like not Propane. I like, but the other bands, it's like it's a hit or miss with me. But I definitely can appreciate it. That's for sure.
No, that's a good album, man. I was just like Sunday when I was taking my daughter to her mom's, riding back. It's like, what do I want to listen to? And the song got in my head, and I just fucking started jamming. I was like, found my fucking lost classic for Tuesday.
There you go. That's cool. And speaking of that, what have you been jamming that and anything else?
I can't remember offhand. Just whatever, man.
Whatever comes on. Joey, what about
we
you,
did
man?
karaoke.
You did karaoke?
Yeah, we do karaoke in the garage. That microphone you gave me, Cashman, like we got a little practice amp in the garage, and we just put like karaoke songs on the TV in the garage and shit, and we just fucking get her done, dude.
Was it killer karaoke?
A lot of times it is, dude. A lot of times it is. You should have heard fucking Pete Saratavich last night. It was cracking me up, dude. Just like purposely, just like just like being all ridiculous, dude. I loved it.
Right. No, that's hilarious. Yeah, I know a lot of Jenny's friends really like karaoke and stuff. And there was that time I was over at their house
party and shit. Yeah,
and they're like, she's trying to get me to do it. I'm just like, I really just don't like in a party where like everybody's like normal, you know. And I kind of was giving him like an idea of what it was going to be like, and the guy's like, "Oh, just try it." The guy the host, really nice guy. Jeff, he's like, "Oh, come on, just try it." I'm like, "All right." I said, "Just turn that gain down, because I'm gonna like blow your shit up." And put on My Heart Will Go On and just scream that whole fucking thing. But it was funny, just the look on his face, like for the first like 5 or 10 seconds, you know.
It's like, wait, what the
fuck is this fool doing? So excellent, Joey. What about you? What have you been listening to?
That Anal Cunt for sure, and I'm still listening to that fucking new coat hanger abortion plan C. Shit still jams. New Goremonger. I'm fucking getting my guest vocalist back for my Horflix 3 album, so that's all coming together.
Awesome.
I've been listening to fucking Nine Dead, which is coming out on Comatose Records, which I'll have a review for tomorrow, and then the CD fucking comes out like the day after or the day after that. So cutting it close, but Nine Dead, that's sick.
Is that badass?
Since we're doing the fucking the Ireland fucking murders, I was listening to a little Party Cannon. They're Scotland, but you know it's pretty fucking
whatever.
close.
Yeah, Party Cannon's dope.
And then also for Halloween on Saturday, fucking we went down to Cleveland, me and Stephanie, and saw Mushroom Head play down there. And I've seen them a bunch of times, but this is like that's where they're from, is Cleveland.
Right.
And it was a fucking sold out show at the Agora. My first time down there, so that was pretty cool. I couldn't see much of the fucking show, and Stephanie's shorter than me, so kind of sucked for that.
Right.
But it was still a good time, so I was checking that out.
Did they sound
I was actually
good?
surprised. Yeah, it sounded fucking decent. Fucking, it was cool. Fucking, it surprised me though, because I didn't realize. It was weird because I was like in the midst of their shit, I guess, but there were so many Mushroom Head fans. I didn't realize how many of the motherfuckers could be, you know. And it was like one step off of Juggalos, you know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
But yeah, and there was a fucking ton of them and shit. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't realize. I seen somebody was wearing a shirt and shit that fucking Mushroom Head has been around since 1993.
Yeah, I knew that.
I was like, holy shit! I didn't know that long. Fucking
yeah, that's cool.
Like, legit, them and Slipknot, they had a whole fucking feud. Who did it first?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Now, I've been jamming some Oppressor. I told you I went on and streamed the 2 or 3 albums that they had.
Yeah.
Digging that. And also a band I stumbled upon called World Decay, kind of a thrash band. I think they're from Belgium or somewhere in Europe. But they've got a new EP called Blackened Soil that was really good. I'm not a fan of black metal, so when I saw the references to that, I didn't know if I would like it. But I dig it. It's good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Also, when we were on our way to our Halloween party, I put on Them, King Diamond's Them album, and Jenny was cool with it. But definitely love hearing some King Diamond at the Halloween time. So good stuff. Good put you in the mood type of shit.
I was watching this new show, Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities.
Yeah, I've been watching that. I watched all of them, yeah.
Hell yeah, it's fucking cool. But they had this one with the fucking kid, and in his room he had a fucking Slayer Hell Awaits fucking poster and shit, but he had like a King Diamond or Merciful Fate and all that shit in there.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool too. Yeah, I watched all those. The couple Lovecrafts he does, or Lovecraft stories he does on that are good. So there was a couple of episodes at the end I didn't care for very much, but the rest of it
I've only watched half of it. But also, let me just say, because I'm a pothead, that I just completely fucked that whole fucking thing I was saying up, because it wasn't in Cabinet of Curiosities. I was watching that, but that's not where I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
I watched Terrifier 2 last.
Oh my God! Go fuck you! I want to see it so bad.
I know. I want to see it.
The young kid in that, in his room, he has a shitload of Merciful Fate and King Diamond.
Oh, cool! I'll have to check. I'm very anxious.
Where'd you watch that?
It was on Screambox.
Screambox.
I think that's what it's called. Stephanie got it.
We just rewatched the first one just because I was like,
yeah,
so badass.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
You'll have to see the second one. It's fucking way out of control and ridiculous. But in all honesty, it's just cool to see a fucking independent film like that still uses practical effects and all that.
Right.
Like getting a name for themselves. Like, yeah, it's low budget. Yeah, it's cheesy, but fucking they do
it's so
a really
good
job with what they have. And I've heard that the fucking numbers for it were actually really good. Like they've been fucking making some money, I guess, or whatever. I don't know the streaming thing now, but
right. That's
they've
cool.
been getting views. So,
good for them. Good for them. Yeah, I agree with the indie stuff. You want to see it succeed.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to be getting here. It's hard to imagine. It's now November, guys. Here at the end of next month, we'll be doing our year-end episode. Just seems like weird. It just like sprung upon us here, but we've been talking about what we're going to do. We're not really sure, but we know that we're going to do our top 5 metal albums of the year. Right. And we'll each do our own little countdown, probably have a few more honorable mentions to throw in there. But we'll do that in our year-end episode. That's always fun, and we'll talk about, because, man, there's some good releases this year. It'll be hard to just nail it to 5, But bands, if you're in one and want to get on Murder Metal Mayhem, just get a hold of us at pete@murdermetalmayhem.com. And there's no guarantee we'll play it, but if we dig it, we'll get a hold of you, and maybe we'll do an interview, something like that. I'm kind of backed up on interviews right now. I got like 4 I need to do. I've got Mick set up for Sunday. Well, it's Sunday his time, but Saturday our time, because he's in Australia. But I'm going to have him on to interview him for the Roger Rogerson episode, so that'll be really cool. And some other Australian stuff, man. I got on this Australian kick watching these gangsters and shit, and they are just fucking brutal, man. Really good stuff. All right, so get a hold of us, though. If you want to send it old school, send it to Murder Metal Mayhem, P.O. Box 554, Hayworth, Illinois 61745. Now, I got the horns next, but I told you I'm backed up on like 3 or 4 interviews here, and so depending on who can commit first, I'm probably going to do that band, but I do have a backup if that doesn't work. So I'll have one. It'll be a game time decision, though. We'll see. All right, the 666 Club, you can join that a couple ways. Now you can go to patreon.com/Murder Metal Mayhem, and $3 a month will get you there. You could pledge more if you like. Got one listener, pledge, or a couple of them, pledge $6.66. So that's really
perfect
cool.
amount.
Very cool. Or you could go to our website, murdermetalmayhem.com, and click on 666 Club, and you can join it through the Patreon, or a one-time annual fee at $25 will get you there. That saves you 25% on the fee. So it's a good deal. You get the episodes early. You get discounts on merch. You get full interviews instead of just the pieces that you hear on the episodes and more. So, and it helps us pay the bills, and we appreciate it. So go join that 666 Club. All right, guys, we have done plenty of metal tonight. And Chris, what the fuck do we need to do?
Let's get our mayhem on.
Hey Tom, who'd you get to hire to entertain the kids at Billy's birthday party this year?
Pogo and Friends Party Fun. It was a deal for only $99. They sent out a clown to make the kids laugh and do all sorts of neat tricks, like put on a pair of play handcuffs to see how many kids could get out of them.
Well, that sounds like a blast.
Strange though, they said it's for only all boy parties. No girls allowed.
That is weird. Well, hey, I would volunteer to try on the handcuffs and give the kids a real scare.
Call 1-800-POGO-FUN today and book an all-boys birthday party. Stag films are extra, but can always be part of your party experience. Wow. I forgot all about that one. Before that, well, that was a commercial we did from 2019 for Pogo Party Fun. The guys from the barbecue. Big Mike.
Yeah, Big Mike and was it Joey?
Big Bad Hogs.
Yeah, Big Bad Hogs Barbecue, Big Mike and those guys were in here doing those commercials with us. Those are fun. And before that, Joey some Anal Cunt, Three's Company theme. That was funny. I saw that when they emailed it to me, and I was like, "Oh God, I can't even imagine what they did to that." So it was pretty funny. It was pretty good. All right, now we are in mayhem, guys, but neither of us or none of us have any mayhem stories to share.
The only thing I'll mention, the only thing I was going to say was, while I was at Mushroom Head, Chris, the whole time I was there, I was just remembering about when you brought your son to his first concert, which was Mushroom Head. And you're telling your kid to tell them girls to show him your titties and shit.
And he was like fucking 13 maybe.
You told that on a Mayhem back in the day.
I did
so
back in the day,
that, yeah.
But still, that's fucking great shit.
That's funny. Well,
I got drunk that night with my little child with me.
no.
Jesus.
Was the McCormick's out?
No, I wasn't drinking McCormick's then. It was probably fucking Jack Daniels.
Oh, boy. All right, well, since we don't have any mayhem tonight, we're approaching 2 hours, which is crazy, but the Shankill Butchers needed it. Needed all that brutality to come out. But we are going to go ahead and do our killer cage match. It's a fun part of the show. That's when we get a list of 75 killers, 75 objects for them to fight with in a steel cage in the prime of their killing career. And we have our listeners pick some random numbers for us so we can figure out who's fighting and all that. So, Chris, who do we want to thank?
We have Laura Kovacs, Jeff Ignatowski, sorry, my bad. And Ray the Missile McFalls.
Hell yeah. So thank you guys for contributing. And we got a good battle for you tonight with the old Rostov Ripper, huh, Joey? Who's fighting tonight?
Tonight we got that crazy motherfucker Andre Chikatilo.
Oh, boy.
He's going to be going up against fucking Osama bin Laden.
That's going to be interesting. And what I find interesting are the two fucking objects. I mean, how perfect is this? Chris, what objects are going to be in the cage with them?
They have a leather-bound Bible and a snapping turtle.
Oh, we've had the snapping turtle before. We've had the Bible before. But have we ever had a Bible in the cage with a devout Muslim fanatical? This could be very interesting. So now the variable, Joey, is what?
I mean, this is probably the most brutal variable we've ever had.
Holy fucking shit.
For sure.
Yeah.
And the variable tonight is Freddy Krueger after he ate a handful of psychedelic mushrooms.
Oh, boy.
God damn.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So we got Andre Chikatilo in the cage with Osama bin Laden. They got a leather-bound Bible and a snapping turtle. And the variable is Freddy Krueger after eating a handful of psychedelic mushrooms. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Chris, where do you even begin with this shit?
I got a short, sweet one. I'm pretty good with it.
Okay.
Fucking bin Laden, he's like fucking pissed off because there's a fucking goddamn Bible around. He fucking, he just snags that motherfucker up, looks at fucking Chikatilo. He's like, infidel, infidel. And he just takes that Bible and he just beats the fuck out of Chikatilo with that Bible. Wow. Like beats him to death with the Bible.
Damn.
Because he is the infidel. Well, Freddy Krueger, he's watching all this happen. He's like, all right, cool. Before he dies, though, he falls asleep. Before Chikatilo dies, he falls asleep. So he never really died.
Okay.
Fucking Freddy Krueger, he fucking goes he goes and kills Chikatilo while he's sleeping. But meanwhile, there's something about Chikatilo's weak penis that lets Freddy Krueger out into the real world.
Oh, wow.
So now Freddy Krueger's out in the real world. He looks at fucking Osama bin Laden and he just destroys him with his claws because that's what Freddy Krueger does. He fucking kills him with his claws.
Yeah, not going to be able to withstand
And then he walks away smiling with a brand new pet snapping turtle.
Okay. All right. Freddy Krueger for the win.
Freddy Krueger for the win. Snapping turtle with a forever home.
Joey, what do you think, dude?
I think with this one, I think fucking Osama bin Laden's definitely going for that leather-bound Bible. You know that's all he fucking cares about.
Right.
Yeah.
And fucking Chikatilo, you know, he's like, whatever, I'll grab the snapping turtle because you think I can't fucking kill with any fucking implement that I can fucking find. Chikatilo, he was a pretty fucking weird motherfucker, so to think that he couldn't kill with a fucking snapping turtle's, you know, pretty primitive thinking right there.
Yeah, definitely.
So fucking they come at each other now, you know, physically, I don't even know what you would consider in their prime for these two.
Right.
I feel like they were both somewhat feeble in their prime.
Very true. Yeah.
So it would be kind of a geriatric throwdown, which would be fucking very, very comical. But I think Osama bin Laden, what he has is he might have a little bit of a fucking height advantage on Chikatilo.
True.
So if he fucking takes that leather-bound Bible and fucking just comes down slamming hard all up onto fucking Chikatilo's bald-ass head, I think it might knock him for a loop. Then he takes his long-ass Muslim beard, and he's pissed that Chikatilo don't have a beard because that's some fucking bogus-ass shit.
Yeah,
he's
infidel
no real
shit.
man.
Right.
Yeah. So he takes his beard and he wraps it around fucking Chikatilo's neck and he strangles the fuck out of him. There's no rape involved in this at all. Well, no. Meanwhile, what happens is the whole fucking time, this was just a vision of fucking Freddy Krueger's head because he's been tripping balls on these mushrooms, and there's nobody actually even in the killer cage match. He's just sitting there watching an empty cage and seeing what I just described.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Nice.
All right.
Love it.
Always fun in the killer cage match. So
Holy
thanks
shit,
again to the listeners.
Love it.
Good shit. Good stuff. All right. Now, I just put out a new book called Slab of Sickness, Terror on the Tracks. And if you're a fan of Murder Metal Mayhem, then you got to get this book because it's out now and it has you, Chris, me, and Joey. Got CK in one of the stories with us. and Sean from the Malice's
Fucking
Wake
right.
in the second one. But the 666 Express, which is a story about us on that crazy ass train, and the sequel,
or Create
the Chaos, is the sequel, and we're in the subways, and that one's crazy. And then an extra story I put in there called Death of a Resurrection Man, about the resurrection men that we talked about in the Burke and Hare episode.
Yes, sir.
So if you're a fan of the show, you would probably like these stories. And it's a 100-page book, so it's a short book, but it's got a really cool cover. Brian Usual did that.
Oh, yeah.
Looks amazing. Joey and Chris, I know I got you guys copies, but it really looks good. Brian did a really sweet job with the whole grindhouse, feel going on. I dig it. And so you can get that at PeteAltieri.com if you're interested. Just go there. I'll link to it in the episode description. The new site, we've been talking about it. It's very cool. You could subscribe to our email list, which really is the best way that you and us will be able to communicate, because you're going to see what we're doing, and we don't have to rely on Facebook and their douchebaggery.
And other social media. It's just us.
Yeah.
We're doing us.
I mean, we're doing the social media stuff, but we're not relying on it like
Right.
we were. We're
Right,
doing
right.
it our own way. So it's all legit. You can go on the web store. I got the shirts, both types. I actually found Joey, my son, was doing the count,
Yeah.
and there's a bag of old shirts, extra larges, like 8 of them. So I'm adding that to the inventory.
Nice.
So there are some extra of the old style shirts, and this is once
yeah.
they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah, we're
So-
not doing them again.
So go get one of the old shirts if you dig that. We got the newer zombie shirt with all 4 of us on it with CK, which is cool. There's a lot of stuff out there. I even got the stickers, $2 a piece, if you want to buy the die cut stickers. And you can even join the 666 Club, as I mentioned, right from the web store. So murdermetalmayhem.com. The YouTube channel, we try to keep up with that. It's so hard to do all this stuff. We're just doing it in-house. But we're going to be posting the video from the murder segment tonight in there. So go to there.
It might be a little short.
Yeah, a little short and ending, only because my laptop's memory started saying, fuck you.
Fuck
All
you.
right. Well, we have done plenty of mayhem tonight. And guys, I think it's time to hit the outro. Hell yeah. Some Chemicost. The song Genocide, throwing down with that. Joey got me into those guys, so definitely digging on them.
Badass.
They are badass. Speaking of badass, Joey, what's the bumper music we've been playing tonight?
Tonight we played Anal Cunt, Chemicost, and Miscreants.
Hell yeah.
Fucking right.
And Chris, that metal segment intro.
Always motherfucking Christ, that great metal motherfucker killing it.
That's right. And
I'll
the
never
murder
forget
metal-
seeing that song live at FTA.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's cool. Anytime I hear it, it's like that's the first thing you think of. Murder Metal Mayhem intro by Low 12. And thanks to everybody out there listening. It's very humbling to see those big numbers coming in, and we do appreciate it very much. Tell people about it. Tell your grandma, your Aunt Betty, whatever the fuck you got to do.
everyone.
Just tell everybody.
Just go to the
about
old
it.
folks' home and be like,
That's right.
hey,
You
check
guys
this
need
out.
to check this shit out, man. You ever heard of a killer cage match? All right, Chris, what about that first comment there we want to read for him?
First one we got here coming up is Tom Bennett 77 says, I love that zombies episode you did at Baldwin Haunted House. I live in Champaign. I've been there many times. You guys fucking rule. Well, thank you from our neighbor across the way.
Yeah,
over to
hell,
the
hell
east.
yeah. Thanks, Tom. That's very nice of you. Joey, what about that second one?
Attila the Hun 666 said, My uncle told me about you guys, and I've been a listener since 2021. I'm from Brewster, New York, and I think it's cool Pete wrote that short story about the Jesus tree.
Hell yeah. Well,
Right
Brewster, New York was the town just on the other side of the New York line from Danbury on the Connecticut side. So basically side by side, but on one state and the other. And so, yeah, I know a lot of people from Brewster. So thanks, Attila the Hun 666. And yeah, the Jesus tree was a famous tree that a lot of kids of my era knew of as this haunted tree. And there's all these stories about it. It looked like Jesus on the cross. And so I wrote a story about it, and it was my backstory of why they called it the Jesus tree, which was all fiction, but it's a pretty intense short story. It's in Creation of Chaos 1. So if you're interested to check it out, you can do that. All right, Carla Naylor commented, I'm currently in Baltimore, but I'm originally from Urbana, Illinois. I've been a listener since you started, and I met you at the Dark History Convention in 2018. Chris, that was the first one. Yeah, the first one. So very cool. Thank you, Carla, and I'm glad you're still listening.
Yeah,
and
for real. Thank you so much.
that you're doing well there in Baltimore, I hope. All right, Joey, what about that last one? Or Chris, you want to read it?
I don't care. Whoever this is doesn't like Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I guess not.
So, Antonio Brown sucks. Says, I love you fuckers. Love the sick humor. And, of course, the metal.
Hell yeah.
Fucking right, dude.
Very cool. And you could pick up a copy of my most latest book, Slab of Sickness, Terror on the Tracks, also Deeper Than Dead. You can get those in my web store, PeteAltieri.com. MurderMetalMayhem.com is our website. We got a good web store as well. Our zombie shirts, the original shirts, activity book. We're getting ready to do another one of those.
Yeah, we've been talking about that.
Scoop up that first one. And we've even got our die cut stickers on there. And you can join the 666 Club for 25% off. Just go to MurderMetalMayhem.com. Joey, how's your distro doing?
Not bad. If you want something from bands like Torso Fuck, Machete Dildo, Goremonger, you can get that shit from me. Hit me up.
Oh yeah, very cool. We'll link to that in the episode description. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and
fuck Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook is whatever, but we have a Murder Metal Mayhem group on there, so you can join that. But check us out anywhere, you can listen to podcasts and give us a rating and leave comments. It's always good. And support the show by joining that 666 Club we've been talking about, patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem, or go to our website and do it there. We can't let him go without hearing a karaoke song, another blast from my past, so crank this one up. And until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
Oh, we're going back to the past, and keep your fist in somebody's ass.
Revving up your engine, listen to her howl and roar. Metal under tension, begging you to touch and go. Highway to the danger zone. Ride into the danger zone. Heading into twilight, spreading out her wings tonight. She's got you jumping off the deck and shoving into overdrive. Highway to the danger zone. I'll take you right into the danger zone. You never say hello to you until you get it on the red light overload. You never know what you can do until you get up as high as you can go. the intensity. Highway to the danger zone. Gonna take it right into the danger zone. Highway to the danger zone. Right into the danger zone. Highway to the danger zone. Gonna take it right into the danger zone. Highway to the danger zone. Right into the danger zone. The danger zone. Gonna take it right into the danger zone. Fuck yeah, right highway to the danger zone. Right into the danger zone. Highway in the danger zone. Right into the danger zone.
Mother, man.